I'm Mel, and welcome to Rayn's channel. Hey guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to support this channel. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy your listening.
I'm the type of person who likes going on long walks, but I'm not the kind of person who will go out when it's dark and nobody is around. At least not usually. But for the month of October and September, I like to go out at midnight to look at the decorations. Not many people are out during that time, so it adds to the creepy factor. If I'm being honest, they were kind of a mixed bag. Some just got cheaply made inflatables from Walmart, and others completely decked their houses out for the holiday. Usually, most of the decorated houses I saw fell in between the two. I'd gotten to the end of my neighborhood when I noticed something unusual. The house at the end was covered in Halloween decorations. You're probably wondering why that's unusual. Well, it's because that house has been abandoned for years. It had been that way ever since I had moved to the neighborhood. It was a nice looking house, so I found it odd that nobody wanted to live in it. I would have, but I didn't know about it until after I moved in, which bummed me out at the time because it was much cheaper than what I'd end up paying in rent. Unfortunately, I had signed a lease, which meant I wasn't able to move into it, even though I wanted to. However, looking back, I see that I was actually fortunate not to have lived there. I did some research and found out that a family had went missing there. It was a family of 4, a dad, a daughter, a mom, and a son. At first, I thought maybe they had just moved and didn't want anybody to know about it. But I read that the neighbors had only talked with them days before they disappeared, and they said they seemed fine. So for them just to up and leave was strange. That all happened 2 years before I moved to the neighborhood, and during those 2 years, I hadn't noticed anyone going anywhere near that house. In fact, they seemed nervous just passing by it. I passed by it on my walks, and while I did get weird feelings passing by, I never felt nervous. I thought about going up to it and trying to peek inside, but I was pretty sure that'd be trespassing. But now I was looking at it, covered in Halloween decorations. I was out last night and had passed it this morning, and during those times I hadn't seen anyone setting anything up. Plus, who the hell would do it anyway? Everyone was afraid of the place. Like I said, the place didn't creep me out before. However, it started to then. Lifelike. That's how I described them. There were skeletons hanging from the yard's trees. For a moment, I thought they were real, and while they did look very convincing, upon further inspection, I realized they were fake. The house itself was covered in cobwebs, lights, and spiders, and there was a sign on the front door, but it was too far away to read. Some of the cobwebs were covered in what I thought was fake blood at the time. In my opinion, it looked a little corny, but I could tell whoever had decorated it had put a lot of effort into it, which I respected. However, one decoration in particular really creeped me out. That was the lawn decorations. Many mangled-looking zombies stood with their backs turned and hunched over as if they were about to tear into someone. Curious, I went over to look, and who they were trying to get at shocked me. In the center were decorations that looked like the family that had gone missing. Their faces conveyed absolute terror. Even though they had gone missing over 2 years ago, I still found this to be in poor taste. I was about to leave when I noticed the sign on the door. It said, "Haunted House. Enter if you dare." Really? Is that the best they could come up with, I thought? Still, I figured I could at least humor them. I tried the doorknob, and found that it was unlocked. Since the sign was up, I figured they must have finished decorating, and that it was okay to go inside. I pushed the door open to find that the inside of the house was decorated similar to the outside. The main difference was where and how the decorations were placed. Some stood on both sides of me, and others hung from the ceiling. All of them seemed to glare at me with the most hateful expressions I'd ever seen. I was genuinely impressed. So, Is this supposed to be one of those maze deals? And where are the people at? Shouldn't there be actors here or something? I wondered as I walked through it. A few minutes in, I noticed that something was off. The inside of the house seemed to be larger than the outside. I hadn't rounded many corners, so I wasn't going in circles, if that's what you're thinking. However, it was like the house was getting bigger the longer I spent in it. Soon, I began to think that I had spent a little too much time here, and seeing that it was late and that I had to work in the morning, I turned around to head home. I thought that it would be a simple matter of heading back the way I came to find the front door. However, no matter how far I walked, I couldn't get to the front door. What in the hell? I thought. I stopped to rest and consider my options. I could try to keep heading back, which didn't seem to be working, or I could try to find the back door. It was then that I was deciding between those two options that I realized something. The decorations were no longer where they had been before. While I was sitting there, they looked as if they had moved closer. For a moment, I grew afraid, until a thought passed my mind. Of course, these decorations must be the actors. My fear subsided as I approached. I began telling what I thought were actors, how they had got me, and how spooked I was. I also asked them how to get out, and how they managed to pull off making the house seem bigger on the inside. But instead of a response, they continued to glare at me with those same hateful expressions. I began to grow annoyed, and repeated what I needed to know to get out. They just kept looking at me. I figured that they were taking their roles too seriously. I wondered if I should try shaking one of them to break their character. However, something told me that wouldn't be a smart idea. I decided that I should try to solve the house as quickly as possible. If that didn't work, I'd just try a window, which I would have sooner, but I didn't see any. 10 minutes of walking took me to the kitchen, where at last I saw some windows. Unfortunately, they wouldn't open. Great, I thought. I considered breaking it, then thought I'd be overreacting. After all, I wasn't really in any danger at that point, but I was hungry. I checked the fridge on the off chance that there'd be some food for the actors. The only food I found was a bag of candy, which I know wasn't healthy, but I was hungry. While I ate some of it, I considered what I should do next. I had passed some of the doors before, however, I didn't think they led to any exits. I was considering the idea then, though. I had pocketed as much candy as I could, and then headed out of the kitchen, where I was met with a shock. The actors were waiting outside. I rolled my eyes. Oh yeah, real mature. I tried walking past them, but one grabbed me. Irritated, I asked if they were finally willing to drop the act and show me the way out. They just kept glaring at me, and the one who was holding me's grip tightened. Thing is, the grip felt solid, like stone. My wrist started to ache the harder he, or I should say it, squeezed. "Let me go!" I shouted, trying to pull free, but it wouldn't budge. I started panicking, trying to find a way to get free. I felt my wrist start to crack, and the pain was nearly unbearable. It went on like this for several seconds, until my eyes fell on a switch hanging from the ceiling. The attic door? When the fuck did I get upstairs? I wondered. I quickly pushed the thought out of my mind and grabbed the switch. I'm tall, so reaching it wasn't a problem. I pulled it hard, almost breaking it. I ducked as the door came down. It slammed the actor in the head, causing him to release me. I ran past the others before they could grab me. My first thought was to find some stairs, but I was unsuccessful. On top of that, those things were chasing me. How the fuck do I get out of here? I thought. Every room I searched had more of those things in them. Soon, they were coming out of the rooms, chasing after me. Shortly after, I was surrounded and thought my fate was sealed. That was until I heard a voice telling them to stop. I looked to see the family, the one that had went missing, standing past them. "What's going on?" I demanded.
How did you get in here?
the mom asked in response. I was irritated that my question wasn't being answered, but I explained to them how I came into my current predicament.
We see. How unfortunate.
The dad said. How? You guys have been missing for over 2 years. This is great. Everyone will be relieved to see you guys are safe.
We wish that were the case. We really do. But we can never leave here. I'm sure you saw the decorations that look like us, correct?
Yeah?
Well, they were us at one time.
What happened?
And we'll tell you. Did you know that we used to have the best decorated house for Halloween?
I shook my head. Nothing ever mentioned that.
Well, it's true. For 10 years, we were number 1.
He nodded.
Yes. We were on top until 4 years ago. New people arrived in the neighborhood, and their decorations outshined ours. We tried keeping up, but we just couldn't. We ended up in dead last for 2 years in a row, and we decided we couldn't let it happen again, no matter what.
I'm starting to think you guys overreacted. I mean, it's cool to be number 1 at something like this, but it's not that big of a deal.
To us it was. It's something our family took pride in.
So, what's with the decorations? Why did they attack me?
They are cursed. We found them in an old antique shop.
And nobody told you they were cursed?
Not a word. We did find it odd that they gave us such a good deal on them, but we were so eager for some good decorations to show everyone up that we didn't think much of it. Nothing at first. However, a few days after we got them, we noticed strange things happening. They'd never be where we left them. We found this odd, but didn't think much of it. We just figured that one of us had been moving them and not telling the others, or just forgetting to. And then one night, our kids claimed they saw them move. I didn't believe them at first. That is until my wife and I saw them move with our own eyes. We attempted to escape, but couldn't because of how the house changed. Whatever curse had been brought in with the decorations had spread into our home, and it would not let us escape. I wish I believed my kids. We might have been able to escape.
Wait, did they do you all? The mom spoke again.
They killed us, ripped us apart. Now we're part of the decorations.
Really? Because you look fine to me. They lifted their shirts some to reveal gaping wounds on their stomachs. The mom mentioned for the kids to turn around, and I saw the back of their heads had been smashed in. My blood ran cold when I saw this.
Now we can't even leave,
The mom said. Look, I'm really sorry about all that, but can you tell me how to get out? She shook her head.
You can't leave either. We need you.
Fuck no, let me out.
You see, the reason we stopped them from killing you is so we could. After our deaths, we saw things beyond the grave and found out that we just needed someone to take our place. Everyone just avoided the house until you came along. Thank you for that. So now we just have to kill you ourselves. Otherwise we'll all be stuck here, and we wouldn't want that.
She smiled. I bolted. I heard them giving orders to the decorations to capture me. Before long, I heard them running behind me. I had no idea what to do, so I just dashed to the closest room, hoping it'd free me of those things. I found myself back in the kitchen, and heard that they were close by.
Don't resist. It won't hurt as much.
I heard the mom call. I scrambled to find something that I could use to break the window, but I couldn't find anything. That was until I searched the cabinets. I found a wrench that must have been left behind. I wasted no time in smashing the window with it. Just as they came in, the family was at the front.
No, don't go.
The dad yelled.
We can't stay here. Grab her.
The mom said. I leaped out of the window just as they tried to grab me. I landed hard on the lawn. Thankfully, it was on the first floor, so other than some cuts, I didn't sustain any injuries. I shakily got to my feet and heard someone yelling at me.
What the hell are you doing?
A man yelled at me. Huh? I asked, confused.
The haunted house wasn't even ready yet. Why'd you go in there?
I saw a sign saying that I should enter. Who are you? He explained that he was a haunted house enthusiast and loved making this home. Apparently, he had it decorated earlier today. Impressive he was able to get it done in such a short time period. I'm guessing that he had had a lot of help.
Hold up. Since you were in there, I have to know. How would you rate it?
10 out of 10, I replied, then went home without another word. After my lease is up, I'm going to move as far away as possible from that house. As I post this, I want to give you all a word of advice. If you see people avoiding a place, it may be for a damn good reason.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the narration, don't forget to like the video and make sure you subscribe for future content just like this. If you have a story you would like to be narrated, just contact Rayn by email. It's linked down below. We look forward to seeing you again next week. Bye!